Hi, you're watching part 4 of an 8-part series about the Igavania or Metroidvania genre Castlevania games. This one is about Aria of Sorrow. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow released in 2003 for the Game Boy Advance. Aria is so good. It's the refinement of every game prior. The previous 3 games, Harmony of Dissonance, Circle of the Moon, and Symphony of the Night, all had heart counters for ammo as well as magic meters. Aria of Sorrow simplifies by combining these resources. Hearts drop from candles that refill your magic meter if it's not full. When it is full, candles don't need to drop hearts at all, so starting in Aria, candles now drop money in this case. The elegance of this system is the type of thing that Aria is just full of. And it sure beats the old system from Symphony and Harmony, where some candles drop hearts and others drop money. In those games, and Circle, some candles drop Castlevania sub-weapons too, but Aria's candles don't need to, thanks to the main new game system in Aria. Normal sub-weapons are gone, and in their place are enemy souls. These souls drop from enemies randomly, with each enemy having its own arbitrarily designed soul drop likelihood. These games are about wandering around, slaying monsters, and finding items to progress, and Aria's soul system does wonders to bring together the monster slaying and item finding aspects. Aria's bestiary has 112 entries for every enemy in the game, and among those are 110 abilities that the player character can use, split into 4 categories. Permanent abilities are gray souls instead of relics, and in one menu you can switch out red, blue, and yellow souls. Red souls are the new sub-weapons. Hold up and press attack to use a red soul attack. Most are projectiles, much like classic Castlevania sub-weapons. These souls are the most plentiful in the game, with 55 to collect. Or you can just leave it up to chance and use what you get. Blue souls are activated with the R button, and generally fall under the category of familiars. There are 24 of them. Lastly, yellow souls are passive souls, all of which just tweak stats one way or the other, whether that's directly increasing strength, dropping shop prices, or making rotten food heal instead of hurt. There are 35 yellow souls to find. There are also the 6 ability souls and 5 souls, 3 blue and 2 yellow, that are obtained from canisters instead of enemies. Aria also shines when it comes to variety of weapons and weapon classes. In Symphony there are many types of weapons, but almost all of them use the same sword/slash animation. And Harmony has the one whip attack that you use for the whole game. Aria draws inspiration in this area from Circle of the Moon, which as part of its magic system includes 8 elemental whip attacks and 8 completely unique weapon attacks. In Aria, main weapons can be short swords and long swords with the same type of slash animation as Alucards from Symphony, but there are also overhead swinging swords, stabby lances and partisans, and some guns too. Also just like in Symphony of the Night, heavy weapons can be felt by an air attack not instantly canceling itself when the player character touches the ground. The main weapon variety in Aria is so great that it makes the previous games all feel lacking. Another aspect of Aria's elegance is its conciseness. This game has the smallest game world map, but it does this without feeling smaller or less grand. In fact, some areas, the underground waterway in particular, are sprawling just like the equivalent cave-themed area in Symphony of the Night. Sometimes less is more in Castlevania map level design, or at very least, less can be as effective as more. The last thing you'd want in your Igavania map is a giant castle map filled mostly by simple, rectangular hallways, and luckily Aria saves itself from this fate. The worst offenders of Hallwayvania are Harmony of Dissonance and Portrait of Ruin, unless you want to consider the PlayStation 2 games, which personally I never do. Just like all previous games, especially Symphony, Aria spends most of its effort expanding on what's most important. The player character is almost always at the center of the screen, so it follows that the player character should be the most beautifully animated sprite in the game. Aria's player sprite of Soma Cruz walking is 19 frames long, the longest of any of these games. Wow, someone had to draw this. Noriaki Yamamoto drew this. Across Soma's hair there's a single pixel of shine that flows in his walk cycle. Gorgeous. I'm not done gushing about this game, by the way. Aria of Sorrow's bonus character mode is one of the best in the series. Julius mode is nuts. Julius is fast and smooth and strong and fun. Bonus unlockable character done right. I love his red pants. Only a few months ago, 2023 saw wild new speedrunning discoveries for Julius mode. Julius is so fast and smooth, in fact, that he can clip through corners and acquire multiple Castlevania boss orbs from bosses, which crucially level Julius up in his game mode. One double orb technique has been known for years, but it turns out that with frame-perfect precision, Julius can get 2 or more orbs from almost every boss fight. Soma has to fight Julius as a boss to reach the true ending, and even if Soma brings a gun, Julius still might win the fight, especially in the new hard mode. Harmony of Dissonance has so many bosses that it split them up into 4 difficulties for the boss rush modes, but Aria is the first game to have both a normal mode and an unlockable hard mode usable in the main game and Julius mode. You can even finish your first playthrough and then play hard mode in New Game Plus, meaning that you keep all your non-progression souls and items. Hard mode even has some new items for Soma, unique weapons and armor that you can't obtain in normal mode. Aria also has unique Soma weapons for getting good clear times in the boss rush. I'll leave you with a weirder piece of trivia. The Game Boy Advance Castlevania trilogy was released on Wii U in October 2014, and again in the Advance Collection by M2 in 2021. Aria is the only game in the trilogy to have a feature that isn't emulated in either of the two re-releases, and it's a multiplayer one. Right on the main menu, with a GBA link cable, you can trade souls with another Castlevania player, just like Pokemon. In the Advance Collection, M2 went to the trouble to remove the option from the menu, but in the Wii U release, the soul trade menu is still accessible, just as if you were playing on a Game Boy Advance without a link cable. So that's Aria of Sorrow. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to see the next part, about Dawn of Sorrow. Dawn of Sorrow released 15 months after Aria of Sorrow, and is the first Castlevania game for Nintendo DS.